Hi, thanks for tuning in. We're about to have a taste and experience like no other, and I assure you, it's like no other. So, I know what you're thinking. What's up with this little tiny little bottle? Well, let me give you a little backstory. So, just to let you know, I've had this little tiny vial of Old Rip Van Winkle 10 or aged for 10 years, right? It's a one of those very hard to get old Rip Van Winkles. Now I know a lot of people are like, Rip Van Winkle, there's no way. Oh no, there's a way, and that would be thanks to Mr. Bryan. Now, Mr. Bryan and I have known each other for almost 10 years, and he sends me random, really cool things to talk about and record. And he's just been a long time friend. And one day, very soon, I need to get my butt up there. It's just hard to get up there to Wisconsin because there's a lot of stuff that me and him are supposed to drink and have a good time. So now we got a little backstory on that just to prove to you guys what do I mean. Well, on tonight's recording, while I'm live on Twitch, he happened to show up. So I was like, Brian, do you remember that bottle? Because I've had this for almost 4 years, maybe almost five. And he sent me a text of the actual bottle, as you guys can see here. So I wanted to make sure I got you guys the right information of where he pulled it from. So, and then he also had sent me another bottle so you guys can see for a later video. But I wanted to make sure I gave you the right information on the item that I'm going to be talking about. So let me read the label, and so that way we're all on the same page. So it's aged 10 years, Old Rip Van Winkle. The ABV on this is going to be 53.5% alcohol by volume. And if you want proof, it is 107. So which makes it a very interesting high ABV bourbon. Now, I have only had Old Rip Van Winkle years before this one. So this will be actually my second time here in Vegas. Old Rip Van Winkle, doesn't matter what year it is, for an ounce, 2 ounces or 3 ounces is way more than your average person. I wouldn't say couldn't afford, but just trust me, if you only want to have some, it's best you save for it or you've got that lucrative cash. So let's go ahead and take a look at it. It's nice. He labeled it for me and he waxed the top. So when it was shipping, nothing ever came out. So I'm going to go ahead and try to get this off. Oh man, it's already, boy, I put too much pressure on it. And let's see, do we have something to take? Hold on. We have napkin. Yeah, this wax is really good on there, man. Okay. We got to break the wax off. Break all this wax off. And no, I'm not editing any of this out. All right, we got the wax off. So now, there we go. Okay. All right. A little bit of wax right there. No problem. All right, let's pour ourselves just a little bit. Just a little bit. There we go. Save that for a rainy day. All right. So here we go. Cheers to you, Brian, and cheers to everyone else. Let's dive in. Let's waft. You ever smell caramel loveliness? That is caramel. You got cinnamon. I got a little burnt orange, like burnt orange peel a little bit. Definitely would. Lot of barrel, lot of smoky barrel, but it is extremely sweet. It's almost like what dessert would that be? Almost tres leches. It's got a creamy back finish. Even though it doesn't look creamy, it smells creamy. But it's I'm gonna go out on a limb here. I'm gonna go with milk chocolate. I know that's weird, but I'm getting like all these really happy notes of like just phenomenal stickiness. But yeah, caramel all day. Caramel all day. And I mean perfect caramel. Oh, perfect caramel. Okay. I can do this all day. I don't want to be here all day. I want to taste it. I don't ever get to the point where I lose words on something like this. I pride myself on being someone who can articulate flavor profiles of anything. And sometimes I come across something so good and so rare that it's hard to put into words of how delicious it is. Here's the caveat: not everybody's palates will ever be as abnormal as mine. And this isn't a flex, it's just to explain that the notes that I'm about to tell you, I want you to crank them up to 10 and put yourself in my shoes. We'll talk about the texture. It's almost like the perfect milkshake of that creaminess, the way it coats your mouth, the way everything of every sensor is ignited. This would be almost umami. The bubbling on the tips of the tongue is not of burning, is of excitement. It's peppery. It's got that nice spice. You can pick all sorts of spices that you like. For me, it's going to be black peppercorn. I'm going to go with a smidge of cinnamon that was in this fragrance. And then and still sweet. Everything is sweet. And then on the sides of my mouth is becoming tannin with the wood. Like if you were to hold a toothpick in your mouth for quite some time, how it dries the side of your mouth and it tastes like wood. And I'm getting that. Now, the smoothness. Now, mind you, it's a 10-year aged bottle. And I received this several years ago. And for it to be this smooth, this highly detailed, then you know it's quality when you have the fucking bottle. And I just have that. What am I going to do with this? I got to sip and savor what's in the glass and then hang tight for the last of that. Or I'm going to pour it back in there after taking another little snurfle and be like, nope, this is only snurfle time. I'm not going to do that. But I'm just saying this is why these things are expensive. These are why they're hard to get. Once you get into the world of bourbons, scotches, whiskeys, or anything in the world of alcohol, and you always go, how are they pricing that high? It's because the quality is, I'm sorry, I had to lick my lips because it's on my lips, and put this in perfume, and why can't humans taste like this? You know what I mean? I want you to think of the most sweetest kiss you've ever had in your life, and that's what that is. That is the sweetest kiss ever. This is why Rip Van Winkle, Old Rip Van Winkle, is fucking one of the top bourbons on the planet. I know the name is wild. If I could ever get me a bottle, it'll be off my bucket list. But just alone, the quality is fire. Now, we're gonna backtrack a little bit. Do you remember that burnt orange I told you? It's got a little bit of that orange in there. I know that's weird. It's there. That burnt orange peel is there and it's giving it like life. There's something else that I'm not picking up, but I know there's something as a flavor profile. But I think I nailed it as far as anyone that would try this could see these things. And for the ABV, oh, it'll put you in a nice spot. Like that's plenty. That little glass I have right there, that is plenty to sip on. This is not for shots. This is not for mixing. This is straight up neat sipping. And when I say neat, that means don't you put nothing in there. No ice. I mean, if you want it cold, you take your glass, go put it in the freezer and let it chill out that way. But do not compromise the integrity of this particular spirits or you're doing yourself a disservice. Mr. Bryant, and everyone else who's watching, who's actually watching me live. I appreciate this journey. It means a lot to me. And I appreciate this particular experience because this, my friends, is something you definitely have to do with others. And until next time, guys, cheers.